Most people assume the English language is perfectly symmetrical, but that's a myth, one that's hiding a fascinating story of words that don't exist. The word disgruntled is often cited as an example of an orphan negative, but interestingly, its supposed positive counterpart, gruntled, never actually existed in common usage. In fact, gruntled is a 17th-century English word that means pleasing or agreeable, but it's been largely obsolete since the 18th century. This raises questions about how our language reflects and influences our emotions, and why we've chosen to focus on negative states of being rather than positive ones. The fact that gruntled has been all but forgotten suggests that our emotional vocabulary is shaped by a complex interplay of cultural and historical factors, with significant implications for our understanding of happiness and well-being. Nonchalant is one of the most interesting cases of an orphan negative. On the surface, it seems we should have a positive counterpart like chalant to denote someone who's carefree and effortless. But when we dig into etymology and historical usage, something strange emerges. Chalant was never actually used as a positive term. In fact, its roots come from the 15th century word chalanter, which meant to stroll or walk leisurely. Over time, the meaning shifted to its current connotation of indifference. This raises an intriguing question: why did we never develop a positive term like chalant or gruntled to counterbalance the negative? One possible explanation lies in our cultural attitudes towards emotions. We often view emotions as inherently negative or unproductive, and as a result, we tend to focus on the absence or suppression of emotions rather than their presence. This might be why words like nonchalant become more prevalent. They allow us to describe a state of being that's detached from strong emotions. However, this also reveals something fundamental about our emotional lives. We often prioritize stability and control over emotional expression. By labeling someone as nonchalant, we're not just describing indifference, we're also implying a level of detachment that we see as desirable. This has profound implications for how we understand emotions and emotional expression. When it comes to the word innocent, many of us assume its positive counterpart would be nocent. Yet, despite numerous etymological resources and historical archives, there's little to no evidence to suggest nocent was ever used as a word. So, why did this supposed positive counterpart vanish into thin air? One possible reason lies in the way our language has adapted to convey a sense of purity and goodness. In many cultures, the concept of innocence is closely tied to a lack of guilt or wrongdoing. It's an absence rather than a presence. This might explain why we never needed a word like nocent to describe the positive state of being, as innocent itself implies a clean slate. This phenomenon speaks to the complex and often contradictory nature of human emotions. We tend to focus on what's missing, rather than what's present. In this case, the absence of a positive counterpart to innocent may reflect our cultural tendency to emphasize the negative aspects of human nature, rather than celebrating the positive. Takeaway: the absence of a positive counterpart to innocent highlights the power of our language to shape and influence our perceptions of human emotions and experiences. The loss of these positive counterparts to orphan negatives offers a fascinating glimpse into the intricate dynamics of human language and culture. It suggests that our vocabulary is not just a reflection of our thoughts and emotions, but also a reflection of our values and priorities. The fact that we've retained words that convey discontent and negativity, but lost their positive counterparts, implies that we tend to focus more on what's lacking rather than what's present. This bias can have far-reaching consequences, shaping our perceptions of the world and influencing our interactions with others. For instance, the prevalence of words like disgruntled and nonchalant may contribute to a culture of complacency, where people are more likely to express dissatisfaction than satisfaction. By examining these orphan negatives, we can gain a deeper understanding of how language reflects and shapes our collective psyche, and perhaps, in doing so, we can begin to rebalance our vocabulary and foster a more positive and nuanced cultural landscape. In conclusion, the world of orphan negatives offers a unique glimpse into the complexities of language and human culture. By examining the cases of disgruntled, nonchalant, and innocent, we've uncovered a fascinating story of how words can shape our perceptions of emotions and innocence. Take away the realization that language is never a perfect reflection of reality, and always carries the potential to influence our understanding of the world.